Dealing with getting older and negative ideas and feelings about aging can be difficult for people across the generations. This video shares 2 important keys to aging with purpose and joy. And sprinkled throughout this video, I'll share resources to help you put these insights to work for you right away. And then at the end, we'll have just a little bit of this. Say yes to enjoying your life by subscribing to this channel and look for the bell icon to see future videos. And visit joyfulbeing.com if you yearn to experience more joy. Welcome to the Joyful Being with Kim channel, a place to return over and over again for practical ideas, tips, and techniques for living with more joy, laughter, and fulfillment. I'm your host, Kim McIntyre, also known as the Laughter Lady. And my mission with these videos is to lift you up and to make your life better. So if you would like to be lifted up, you'd like to have little doses of new ideas and things to try, then be sure to subscribe. The topic of this video was requested by one of my email subscribers. And she wanted to have a video on aging and how it's often difficult for people to adjust to the idea of getting older and looking at who you've been and who you are and who you want to be in the future. And I thought it was a great idea for a video. I've certainly experienced that sense of finding it hard to accept that I'm getting older. So I thought, yeah, let's do a video on that. And just a quick note, if you're not on my email list and you'd like to receive weekly messages from me that are uplifting and give you tips and tools and fun ideas and sometimes jokes and a variety of good things, then I will leave the link in the video description to sign up for my email list, or you can find it on my website, joyfulbeing.com. I remember a few years back, I was buying some shoes at the checkout counter, and this young little 20-something asked me, "Oh, did you use your wisdom discount?" And I was like, "What's that?" And she's like, "That's for people 55 and older." And I was like, she could just see my face drop. First of all, I wasn't 55 yet at the time. And I also felt like, it would like hit me in the face. And I was like, I felt actually down and depressed afterwards. And she could see it on my face and she was like, "Oh, I just want to make sure everybody gets their discount." And I was just like kind of flabbergasted by it because it was the first time anything like that had happened. And on the other hand, I'm thinking, why would that upset me? I mean, I know some people are all excited about getting their discounts, but why would that bother me at all? And then more recently, I had one of those big birthdays with a 0 on the end of it, and all of a sudden, my movie app was listing me as a senior ticket. And I was like, no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to list me as a senior. But here's the thing. It's a privilege to get older. Not everybody gets that privilege. Every year, every day is a blessing and a privilege. So why do we have all of these negative ideas about aging? Part of it is because there are certain challenges and difficulties associated with aging, whether it's health issues or adjusting to retirement if you retire, or sometimes as you get older and older, the people around you are passing away, and so there can be a sense of loneliness and loss and grief that goes with that. These challenges are all very, very real, and yet every stage of life has challenges. You don't get through days and years on this planet without coming across plenty of challenges. So how do you adapt to the unique challenges of getting older and whatever unique challenges that brings to you individually? The 2 keys to aging joyfully and with purpose that I'm about to share with you can help you to start finding your own answers to all those kinds of questions that I just asked. How do you do it? How do you adapt? How do you feel fulfilled? what's next for you? All of these kinds of things are really great questions to ask yourself, and you're going to have your own unique answers. And I want to give you some ideas to help fuel those answers and to help you discover and find those answers for yourself. Key number 1 is to be on the lookout for people whose lives are real world examples, true examples that bust through all the negative beliefs about what aging is and bust through all the limitations people think that getting older are put on you. So these people don't let the limits affect them. They just go, whew, I'm just living my life, no matter what age I am. And they are very inspiring. So one example in my life is my mom, who started jogging and running in her mid-60s and kept doing it and running 5K races well into her 90s. And she was always interested in learning new things and going new places, and she was curious about life. And I am so grateful to her for that curiosity, because I'm pretty sure I learned that from her. If you're looking for it, you can find all kinds of stories of people in their later years starting new work, starting a new career, finding love, having adventures. These are true stories that are out there for us to find that can help us have a different kind of view about aging, because there are so many negative beliefs about it. You actively need to go and find ways to counteract those beliefs so that your mind can believe that something else might be possible for you than just looking at it like, I'm just going downhill and I don't have any choice about it and life's just going to get worse. I mean, that's why waste these precious years that are truly a gift. And these negative beliefs don't just happen to people at retirement age. I mean, I remember years ago an acquaintance of mine saying that she thought it was too late for her to find the right career and the right guy. She was 35 at the time. And certainly not too late at 35, but it's not too late at 75 or 85. I mean, life is here for us to live it. So why hold on to a negative belief like it's too late for me? So the resources I have for you on this are a couple of books and a Netflix series to check out. The first is a book by Mo Rocca called Octogenarians, and it is full of these kinds of stories. So you can just fill yourself up with these stories by reading this book. And it just shows you that all kinds of things are possible. The second book, and I'm going to read it so that I make sure I get the title right. It's called The Well-Lived Life, a 103-year-old doctor's 6 secrets to health and happiness at every age. And her name is Gladys McGarry, MD. And she's just very inspiring in the way she lives her life. And I believe she's still alive as I'm filming this. And she is just, she was a holistic doctor in a time when there were no holistic doctors. And it's just a fascinating life story and a perfect example of living through the whole of your life. And another resource is a Netflix series called Live to 100, Life in the Blue Zones. And it follows people who have had great longevity and looks at all the different factors in their lives across people across the globe and looks at what helps them to be fulfilled, to live with purpose, to live healthy and joyfully. And it is a very interesting documentary series to watch. And just one more idea, in case you have a lot of fear around aging, the most recent YouTube video I put out there about calming fears has a calming fears meditation that might be helpful to you as well. I'll leave that link for you in the video description. It's not a video particularly specifically about fears of aging. It's about fear in general, but it is very soothing and calming. And so if you think that would be a resource you'd like to check out, I will leave the link for you for that. Key number 2 is expanding your community and your social connections. And this is something that, if you're not careful, can tend to get smaller as you get older. And you actually need to make a conscious choice, a conscious effort with steps and actions to put yourself out there in small ways and just connect with more people. And here's why. So I'm going to read a little snippet from this book, Super Communicators by Charles Duhigg, which I just read for a book club that I'm in. And he's talking about all the different studies about connection and longevity. And he says, we now have robust evidence indicating that being socially connected has a powerful influence on longevity, such that having more and better relationships is associated with protection, and conversely, that having fewer and poorer relationships is associated with risk. And this can affect not only your health and your longevity, but also your sense of enjoyment and fulfillment and a sense of being part of something larger than yourself. Loneliness can be very, very real, and it is not great for you, for your health or your sense of emotional well-being. So for resources on this one, this book is actually quite good in terms of looking at ways to communicate with people, and to communicate with people who may not necessarily be people who believe in all the exact same things you do. And I think that that's really important these days, to be able to reach out and connect with all different kinds of people. And I also created a whole video that was about expanding your connections, and it's full of resources and ideas. And I will definitely leave that link for you in the video description. The title of that video has in it the words 3 keys to building connections. Check that out for yourself, and just know that it is super, super important to have that sense of connecting with other people as you get older. I mean, it's important at every age, but I think it becomes vital to what this video is about, which is living with purpose and living with enjoyment and joy. And before I sign off, I want to give you one more bonus idea to play with in your mind. And that is to look for what's good about aging, what's good about getting older, to help you adjust to the idea of being older. And one of the things that I can connect with is the idea of the wisdom that you have, that I have, from having lived on this planet for so long and learning and growing as a person. And so it's the wisdom that you already have that you can own and know and connect into and share with others. And it is also that sense of curiosity that I mentioned that my mom had, that you can add to your wisdom, you can add to your knowledge and your curiosity about the world. And the more curious you are, I think curiosity keeps you young, and I think it helps you to look for what's new and what's unique in any given moment. And of course, another thing that helps keep you young, I think, is laughter. So if you haven't checked out my laughter playlist on this channel, that's a great idea too, to just give you a little bit of a lift. You know, if we keep our sense of humor about aging, I think that that's a good thing too. So I invite you, until next time, to keep finding that sense of humor, keep enjoying your life, keep being curious about each day, each moment. And until next time, keep looking for opportunities to do plenty of this.